Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Meat Boy Dark World. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb,
And I'm VGM Corin.
and today we're gonna skip the introductions and get right to finishing up Dark World Rapture. Ready? Go! So today we go right on to level 15, Choke.
Ah, this level. This level in the light world is not monotone, which actually makes it significantly easier.
Significantly easier because when the maggots can hide in the maggot piles.
Exactly, they can kind of blend in with the surroundings.
Also, this is a bit of a glitchy level because in that little overpass ahead here, right there, sometimes that maggot spawns on the floor and you can't get through.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a little glitchy too.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that just happened.
Yep. That didn't stop me that time, but...
Well, no, the other things of death did. And it still has this insane jump where you're expected to get over that giant tower of maggots and then land next to one. Durr!
Yeah. Worst maggot, and then there's all this.
Yeah.
And you're not really sure. It's kind of uncomfortable trying to gauge what is safe surface and what isn't. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell. And then that guy.
Oh, that guy. That guy's a bastard.
There's a lot of inconveniently placed maggots that are just in the most inconvenient location. It had to be deliberate.
It did. They were like, hey, let's... You know what would really frustrate people? If we did this.
Uh-huh. However, it is a great level to watch in replay.
It is. And as always, I didn't say this last time, it's classy.
Which is kind of, you know, the levels speak for themselves.
They do. And down we go, straight into the piles.
Straight into the maggots. In these levels, I'm always tempted to just throw myself down and try to land where
That's usually what I do in these types of levels.
That part is a lot easier than it looks, with those saw blades shooting downwards.
That's the first time anything in Meat Boy's ever looked easier than... Or been easier than it looked.
Yeah. I like that maggot at the start, though. He's just kind of there.
He's just kind of doing his maggot thing, hopping around, being all smiley.
I think the maggots in this game are actually really cute, the one
They're
with faces.
adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hug them.
They'd make a great plush.
They would. I would get a maggot Meat Boy plush. Or, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And here's more repulsor fun. Or unfun.
Yeah, they kind of combine a little of everything in this level. This giant shaft with a big saw blade shooting up it. So...
There's so many things I could say about that.
There is, but will you?
No. Not today.
Not today. And then...
And then failure all the way back to the start of the level. And death.
Yep. And then stubbornness, and then deciding, I wonder if I can get something.
As with many long Meat Boy levels, you can kind of cheese it if you're careful. And then you die.
And then I decide, well, maybe I can get through just fine, and, you know, I get punished for my cheating.
Of course.
Oh, look at the oob.
He just wants to go, I'm gonna hug you with my mouth and teeth.
No.
I love teeth hugs.
Teeth are not arms.
Teeth are definitely arms, to be clamped around people.
I think the most terrifying part of this video is that there are 16 minutes left, but only 4 levels in a warp zone.
Well, that just is a testament to how hard Dark Rapture actually is.
So let me just take a moment here to sit back and say, this might be the worst level in the entire game.
Really? This one?
This one.
Why?
If
I mean, aside
only-
from all the missiles.
If only on the first bandage run. Do you see where the bandage is?
I do not.
Look about bottom middle of the screen.
no.
There are some destructible
I
blocks
see it now.
that you have to guide the missile into.
Well, that's just unfortunate.
And the only missiles that can destroy them are the ones that fire from you over there. Those missiles are extremely hard to get in there. And look,
Oh, that was crap. You hit that.
yeah, the hitboxes are very off, and meanwhile you have to dodge all these Super Mario Brothers 3 Doom Ship 4-way intersection rockets.
These rockets are just trying to get where they're going, man.
Look, you get it, but that's only the start of the level.
So the rest of the level is still left.
Look at the timer.
35 seconds.
It took me 35 seconds to get that. Now, if you're lucky, you can get it right away. but more often than not,
And we're back here.
a minute.
A minute and then you instantly die.
It's just so easy to die in this level, but so hard to get that first bandage. Like anything else in this game, though, you get used to it and you can cut down the time in which you get that bandage. But even up to that point, it's
Even
hard.
up... Oh, yeah, that's just another reason why I don't try and 100% video games.
These last few levels and these last few bandages are probably, no, not probably. They are the hardest levels in the game.
Well, I look forward to seeing the rest... Oh,
Not counting the final world, which,
well, we'll get to that when we get to that.
we'll get to that. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't exist. It's there.
It's there. It's after what you'd expect to be the end.
70 seconds.
70 seconds. What's the par time for this course?
I don't know, but I had to do it again.
Oh.
No, wait, no, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, you have 39 seconds on the clock now.
90 seconds.
Oh, dear.
This level's a nightmare. I hate this level.
And let's see, what is that par time? 27 seconds. I see you kind of went Technicolor here.
I went into a fever dream after beating this level.
I dreamt of Meat Boys shifting all colors.
It's a Meat Boy death dance party with one guy just standing on the left knob.
It's a Meat Boy rave! Bonchy, 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 bonchy.
And then you get this level.
Which is essentially a four-way intersection from Super Mario Bros. 3, except worse.
So as you can see, there's that key up in the center middle you have to grab to unlock the path to Bandage Girl. But you have to get up there without getting hit. And after a few seconds, you see those saw blades along the bottom?
Yep.
They're going to start rising.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But you have to avoid them to get the bandage in this level, which you'll see soon.
I look forward to that. This is one of those levels where it shouldn't be as hard as it is to get to that key. But just because of the nature of trying to watch so many bullets at the same time, it's hard for your eyes to track what dangers are actually coming after you.
And once you actually get that key, look above the caged area.
Let's see, what's up there? Well, it's going very slowly.
There's another missile launcher up there, and now the saw blades rise, and with the saw blades rise is the bandage on the far left of the screen.
Oh, that's just nasty.
So you may as well just stand there and you pick it up automatically like I did.
Yeah. So at this point, you're in a safe zone. Like, you won't die if you stay here.
Probably not unless that one on the top gets a good shot, I think.
That's good. One thing to really note here is that it's a surprising kindness that this bottom floor doesn't go away when the saw blades start rising.
I know. This level doesn't look that bad, actually, when you take this into account.
Well, yeah, but it really is. If you had to get back on those 3 platforms and jump across... Well, that ended that.
Exactly. Just that final jump, and also accounting for that variable at the top.
It's kind of crazy, and I can't keep my eyes focused on it. And this is not a good choice for a monochrome level. I just have to get that out there.
Yeah, it's not.
There's too much going on.
There is. I can appreciate the blank background, but...
Yeah.
Now, I didn't think this level was going to be as hard when I started it.
Now that saw blade is launching saw blades at you. I don't think we've seen that before, have we?
We don't. I think they are either... I think they may have been in the end Rapture levels, but they're pretty much exclusive to these levels, where they're not... They launch saw blades at you, they turn to aim at you, but they don't home in on you like missiles do.
Right, they just kind of... They're still not very smart saw blades, but...
I think they're actually more dangerous than the missile launchers because you usually have to face them in tight corridors.
This is true.
And you don't have to account for leading them.
Now this is a section where you just want to be slow and you want to take it one turn at a time.
And it's very tempting to just kind of run all the way through it, but...
You might get lucky,
or you might go through what I'm going through right now.
The best way to handle this situation, though, is just move when the things are turning, and keep an eye on which way they're facing, and you'll be fine.
Yep. But otherwise, there's a lot of death. it took me a little while to get the pattern down in a meaningful way. Like standing right there and jumping over the horizontal ones is a safe zone for a little while.
Exactly.
And then you're good. And then this section, where you kind of have to hover in between these blocks as they disappear.
That's just mean.
Like,
Yeah, I like it though. I like that mechanic. I wish it was more prevalent, because I think that's also the first time we've seen that kind of needing to hover between them. And then jerk saw blade.
And then I wish it wasn't at the end of the level. That saw blade is why I think they're more dangerous than missile launchers, because you need to account for the timer it's on and the destructible blocks on both sides, how long it'll take for them to crumble.
Now, couldn't you just stand on top of where those blocks are going to appear?
You could, but that ranges you very dangerously close to the saw blades.
Well, I suppose so.
Like, I'm not sure. I haven't tried it, and then you might glitch through them, because they
Yeah.
won't push you up automatically.
Oh, I thought they did push you up automatically.
Nope. So, you know, this level actually took me longer than the Nightmare one a little while ago, but it's not.
Do you go into a fever dream on this level, too?
I don't think so, but I do employ wackier editing.
Well, that's half the fun of, you know, getting frustrated, is just employing stupid editing techniques.
But by the point I had to edit this footage, I was just jumping through to whenever I got to this part in the level. And since it takes like 30 seconds, I could jump pretty far ahead in the video.
Right. And you still kept a lot of deaths, and look at all the meat boys.
Look at all the meat boys moving through tight, narrow passages. I talked about this in the Light World version of the episode, but I like how this world is a progression from a wasteland to this seemingly functional facility.
It's actually pretty cool, and I guess it makes more sense from the castle perspective, if you're kind of getting up to and invading the castle of the Doctor.
Because Dr. Fetus, he hates everybody, but he would probably have a contingency plan like this.
Probably, yeah.
His own headquarters. Now this level is not too bad.
It looks pretty bad, but maybe...
Compared to the last few.
You're just gonna go up there and... Oh...
Last warp zone in the game.
That's just mean.
That contains the last bandages in the game. This is where this becomes 100% bandages.
Oh, excellent. So there are no more bandages after this level.
No more bandages after this level, and that also means we'll be unlocking our final character after we get there.
Now keep in mind, there are still challenges more difficult than this ahead.
Oh yes, we're not at the end. This is the final main world.
Yes, and...
Saw blade launcher from the wall.
From the heavens! I come to give you saws! Now, is this the last warp zone in the game?
This is the last warp zone in the game. It's
Excellent.
also a lot harder than I make it look. I was expecting to have a lot of trouble with this one because fans.
Fans. Not as bad as repulsors, though.
Not as bad as repulsors, and I'm grateful for that, but they're very hard to manipulate in these levels, especially the last one.
Yeah.
This one, not so much, but...
Well, this one, you're trying to get down low enough to go under that block without gaining so much momentum that you fall into the fan, which is kind of impossible.
Also, sliding too far off to the side, and then just suiciding from grief.
Grief aside.
From, you know, stress.
You should probably get that looked at.
Why am I collecting these bandages?
You are collecting them because you hate yourself.
Why is Meat Boy collecting them? Does he want to make Bandage Girl bigger?
Well, he wants to modify some of Bandage Girl's assets.
Yeah,
Make them a little bigger, a little squeezier.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really want to talk about this anymore.
So, saw blades.
Saw blades, aren't they cool? They're all like spinning and stuff.
I wonder when the saw blade was first invented. This is a stupid train of thought.
It's better than the last one.
That is true.
That fan is behind lock and key.
Which means the wind goes nowhere.
Yep.
It just hits the locks and it's like, well,
Guess I'm done.
guess I'm done. This is how the physics work.
No. Just no.
No.
this is an interesting level because it's more repetition of doing the same thing, but it's not that terribly hard.
It's not. It's actually surprisingly easy for the last warp zone in the game. Like, the Rapture warp zones are the hardest warp zones by far, and it's this one in particular that I was afraid of.
And yet...
Well...
Not doing too bad, yeah. It's mostly, as always, getting through all 3 of these levels without dying...
3 times.
Yes.
Because if I die 3 times here, I have to do the first 2 again.
You're on the ceiling.
I'm on the ceiling. The fan is powerful.
That is a very powerful fan. But this level isn't that bad once you get the fans down.
Once you get the fans down, and I died, what, once?
Mm-hmm. Well, twice. I think this is... If you die here, you would have to go back, but...
I don't.
You don't. And that guy's just exploding.
Mm-hmm. And you unlock Steve.
From Minecraft.
Steve is an extremely interesting character. You are not allowed to use him and record it to the leaderboards.
No, because if you could, well...
Because...
Well, let's just watch.
Watch. He can build and destroy blocks. As in Minecraft. You can basically manipulate the entire level. So I'm going to do this level once with Steve.
And then once again with Meat Boy?
Because it doesn't count if you beat it with Steve.
Now, does it actually not count, or...?
It doesn't count. Like, when you beat the level and go back to the map, it'll remain white.
Alright. He's kind of just a for-fun character in that way.
Mm-hmm. Just to play with the terrain, and he's basically the debug mode.
He is. He is... And yet, you still die.
You can pull off a lot of nifty tricks with him, like flying through the air and then placing a block underneath him. I don't need to talk about what game Steve is from.
If you don't know what Minecraft is, but you know what Let's Plays are, that's a very strange knowledge set.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, Minecraft Let's Plays are surprisingly common.
Minecraft is the indie game of all time.
It is. I mean...
It might have a big budget now, but
in the beginning, like, before Notch made $1 billion, I found a body!
Yay, body! Wait, not yay.
So I decided to take the high road.
Well, that's probably going to be a lot easier. And just like in his own game, you can build things. Though, here it's less simple.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit.
It's not necessarily easy to control. I mean,
Minecraft does have a certain amount of fun of exploration for it. At least that's why I always played it, using blocks to, like, reach floating islands.
I liked to build stuff, which is why I'm sad that it took me so long for it to discover its creative mode after I've kind of had my fill.
I don't like creative mode that much, but I don't think this conversation is here or there.
Fair enough. This is Meat Boy.
Let's talk about Meat Boy.
And how I'm totally cheating.
Little bit. This is not the way to beat a level. Now, in your opinion, is Steve worth 100%ing the bandages in this game?
No.
All right.
It is not something you do unless you're like a hardcore completionist, because he is one of the definitions of those characters that takes forever to unlock, and you might use him on 1 or 2 levels.
Exactly. This is something that I talk about a lot.
See, the level's white.
Exactly.
So gotta do it again.
In that, well, you spend 40 hours getting your ultimate creation or ultimate sword or invincibility, and then you use it for 5 minutes.
You use it for 5 minutes at best.
It's kind of... I don't know. I've never understood the point, but... Oh! Goodbye, physics.
Goodbye, world. I'm more entertained when that happens than anything.
It's hard to be angry at a game because of its glitches, at least if they're not that intrusive.
Like if it was at the end of the level.
That might be frustrating.
That might be frustrating, but as Meat Boy, this is also another one of the examples of it's not as hard as the levels before it.
Yep. The last level, as always, is just kind of a test of what you've learned. And even then, there are no repulsors in this level.
Like, that final section was surprisingly easy.
So it was.
And with that, we're done all of the main worlds of the game, light and dark.
Can't believe you made it this far without, like, breaking a controller.
I know, but we're not done yet.
Oh no, we have the end, and then, well,
Well, yeah, we have one. We have the end, and then, well, you'll just have to see after the end.
you will.
After the end.
After the end.
But
The
next
end.
time. Oh. Recording call. Okay.